This is the Cardmarket YouTube channel. Todd, Yamin, and I.
Welcome to the Cardmarket Coliseum!
This time again with Yamin and Carl.
And I'm really happy to announce that we went and found ourselves a bunch of cameras, so it won't look like you're peering through your cell phone when you're looking at the table anymore.
I can't see anything.
They're not on.
Oh, wow.
We made it to 10K! Listen, I know I've been super annoying every single video asking you guys to sub, but it paid off. We finally made it to 10K subs, and it's even still going after that. You guys are still doing it. You don't have to, but we're very happy.
We just hit 50,000 subscribers, and if you don't know yet what we do on here, we do gameplay videos with fancy overlays so you can see our cards in hand and fancy guests, because facing only each other is kind of boring after a while.
Hey. We just recently hit 100,000 subscribers and got a YouTube play button, and we are really, really proud of it. And our job is really peculiar because you guys seen us in videos playing magic cards and doing goofy things, but this is not our channel. But this is still our job. We make videos for a company called Cardmarket that we work for. We're actual Cardmarket employees. And we'll talk about Cardmarket and what we do in a second, but first we'll talk about us. Yamin, Todd, and I.
Hi, I'm Yamin. You probably remember me as the tall guy from the YouTube channel, or maybe you don't even know that I'm this tall because I usually sit while recording these videos.
Should I read the questions as well?
No. I'll know which question you're answering.
Cardmarket is Europe's largest marketplace for trading card games. That's the sentence I always use when we create a new social media channel, because it is the shortest description of Cardmarket that expresses all of what Cardmarket is. Because even though you know Cardmarket as the YouTube channel maybe, Cardmarket itself is actually just the marketplace that is available on the internet where you can sell cards or buy cards from other players and collectors. That's it. It's incredibly efficient because if everyone can sell their cards, the market really there's no huge buy and sell gaps as there's usually with like buy lists of individual stores, and that makes for great prices.
I'm wearing a different shirt now because it's another day. A little behind the scenes for you all is that sometimes in the longer format videos when talking to the camera, I just leave a shirt in the office and I'll come back other days and re-record takes to make it look like it was one sitting. But no, today is all about being honest.
Of course, over time, Cardmarket expanded. It's kind of a brand, but it also isn't. It all comes down to the marketplace, but then there's also extensions. We have a bunch of deck boxes, we have sleeves, we have playmats. We have this YouTube channel, we support tournaments, we sponsor players. Like there's this huge community all around Cardmarket, but if you ask me what Cardmarket is, it's the marketplace.
One of the neat things about working here is that everyone's a massive nerd. We all just play games.
I was 13 in school and people had weird cards. And I looked at the cards, they were playing like in the hall of little tables. And I was wondering, what are those cards? And they said, oh, you can play a game with it. And obviously my first question was, what's the best card? And I was kind of like laughed at for the question, which I found like weird because I mean you want to play good cards, right? So what is your best card?
So I was born in 1997, so you might say I'm a 90s kid, but I really didn't experience anything in the 90s. But I did have two older siblings and both of them experienced the 90s a lot. And with them, they experienced trading card games.
I played an Odyssey as a kid with my twin brother. We'd play in our backyard. Most of our cards are kind of destroyed now. We left them out in the rain for too long and we didn't play for so long. I think I was in my early 20s when my partner and I were meeting friends at a bar and the friends canceled on us. So we went to a game store that was next door because we saw a game store. We're like, wow, this is so cool. We walked in to look at board games and we saw a dual deck pre-con. It was Avacyn Restored Zombies versus Humans. So we bought it. We went and played it at the bar and we're like, wow, this was so much fun.
I went to look for, well, somebody to play with. And there were game stores in Berlin, namely the big one back then was the other, like Der andere Spielladen, the other gaming store basically, which had a lot of board games and a lot of card games and huge Magic events for that time. So there was Friday night and there were other tournaments like Arena on Monday, and I basically played all of them.
Unfortunately, my first ever deck, it was all in English and I didn't speak English back then. So I had to reveal every card to my brother, ask him what it does, and then I could play it, which, yeah, it really didn't help me winning a lot.
And a few days later, I went to a game store that was next to my apartment, and I brought my zombies deck and I got crushed. So I had to do that again.
Playing a lot of Friday nights, and then my goal was to win a Friday night, which I did around Odyssey, I would say. With the Terra War Balancing Act deck, which was so good. Actually, fun fact is so you have a time where you just play random Magic for fun and you see like, oh, I put cards in my deck, but then there's this one time where you build your first deck. That's your first goal. And I don't know what your first deck was, but I saw Stasis and Kismet, like a deck where they make your opponent not untap and put cards into play tapped, and it played like Forsaken City, and I thought like, this is the deck I want to play.
And then at some point later, I kind of looked back into it and it really hooked me. My brother was long off Magic, but I kind of liked the cards and I kept going to the game store. I was by far the youngest person there. I must have been like 14 or something.
When I moved to Berlin from Montreal, I got rid of all of my cards and I stopped playing Magic. I had other things to do. I had to discover how to live in a new city. So I just completely stopped for many years. And at some point I came back home from a party and I couldn't sleep. So I turned on Versus Live series from Star City Games and watched them play it. And I was like, man, I have to play Paper Magic again. And it was late and I may have drank a bit. So I just snap bought a deck from Canada. I think it was Temur Energy. And I had it sent over and it took forever. And in the mail, I couldn't wait. It finally arrived. I go and I open it and it was a letter from the Zollamt, which is the border office, and not my cards. So it gave me an appointment and I went to see what was happening at the Zollamt. And they make me sit in a waiting room. And in the waiting room, there's a casing with a turtle shell, a gun, I think, and a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards as the illegal verboten things that you're not allowed to bring into the country. Turns out gaming cards count as gambling material, so you have to pay an extra tax or something like that. So I had to pay an extra 96 euro, I think, to pick up my deck, but it was worth it. I got to play Magic. And I went to the game day, I think, of the store in my area with my new Temurgy deck. I actually won, which if I didn't win, maybe I wouldn't be playing Magic today. I won the event, and at the end I was like, guys, I had to pay like 97 euro just to get my deck. And they're like, why? I was like, I bought it in Canada. And they're like, why did you buy it in Canada? You just could have bought it on Cardmarket.
So getting more serious about Magic, I played a lot at my local game store, and there was always this group of good players hanging out, right? I knew they were playing Pro Tours, they were grinding Grand Prix, they were traveling to PTQs. And I kind of looked up to them because as a young kid, you kind of look for role models.
I don't know exactly. I mean, Jamin is very young. He's like 20 or something. So eventually Jamin started playing Magic as well. And he also went into those stores and we met. So Jamin was a cool kid, very bright, very ambitious, very ambitious.
But I could never imagine being part of their circle or something. But over time, that actually happened. Like we kind of, you saw each other at the game store, and playing with and against them drastically helped me learn Magic and how to play competitive Magic and how to play Magic well.
So when people are having fun at Magic, you play a lot of draft with them, you get to know them, they're cool people, and over time you become friends, right?
One night before a GP, one of those players invited me over to sleep over and then travel to the GP together to the airport and go to the GP. And that player was Toffel. And ever since, like, we traveled to tournaments together, we played together, we play tested a bunch together back when I actually played more competitive Magic. And yeah, that's how I met Toffel. And I would say without Toffel, I would never have accomplished any of the things in Magic that I did actually accomplish competitively.
And eventually, like, Jamin started working at Cardmarket because he liked working with social media and doing something with Magic.
So back in 2018, Cardmarket had an open application for an internship as a marketing intern, and I applied, and they turned me down. but because they already had someone, and then they asked me whether I would like to write articles for Cardmarket Insight. And at the time, I had just quit my studies at university because I spent too much time playing Magic. And so I took the offer and I wrote for Cardmarket Insight. You know, I traveled a bunch. I had interesting things to write, I would say. And after a year of doing that, they opened up the internship application again. So I applied again. However, I wasn't actually studying, so it was just basically a job for me. And after the internship ended, Cardmarket was like, well, you did really well, like we'd like to keep you. And I mean, I was really happy about that because that internship was a really good time.
For many years, whenever there was an opening at Cardmarket, people would send it to me. And it was never really jobs I wanted to do. Once it was for a video marketing job, but I did animation, I did motion graphics, I didn't really do video. So I most of the time just ignored the job openings. And I was gonna move to Milan in Italy to work in motion graphics. And someone at the time was really, you should apply to this Cardmarket job, they're looking for a video person. And I applied being like, oh, I'm probably moving to Milan anyways, but I'll apply, why not? This is a pandemic. And I sent it in, and after just 2 interviews, they're like, do you want a job? I was not expecting to get this far. It did mean being able to stay in the country with my partner and all my friends. So I took it, and I came in, and it was during the pandemic. And it turns out that a long time ago, they had hired someone for a video marketing department to run the Cardmarket series. And the Cardmarket series was an event we had, a bit like the SCG series, where it was a series of tournaments through Europe to kind of add to the European tournament scene, and we would host and make coverage for it. So someone was hired for that. But then there was a pandemic and there was no longer a Cardmarket series. So she was tasked with finding other ways of using the video resources. So when I was hired, she was about to go on maternity leave. This is Annika.
Hi guys, I'm Annika and I work for Cardmarket as a video editor. I started Magic with the core set 2020. I vividly remember Nicole Bolas on the cover and I really love dragons, so that was a fit for me. But actually my trading card beginnings were with Hearthstone on my phone, and I really enjoyed that game, but I wanted at some point to have like physical cards in my hand that I could put in a binder and like show around and feel and touch, and yeah, that's how I started collecting and playing Magic. I started working at Cardmarket very soon after I started playing Magic the Gathering actually. The 5 years here at Cardmarket were quite a journey because except for video editing, there were a lot of other stuff that I did, and I still do manage a lot of stuff behind the scenes, like the costs, payments, equipment stuff, scheduling stuff, so yeah. But I also do the help videos now.
Annika was on maternity leave to have her child Liliana. So I was given this department alone. It's not a department, I was just one person. And I was like, yeah, there's a few things you can do. We want to get some streams going. There's a YouTube channel where people send us videos that they've made and you just post them. We want to get maybe a podcast going. And just kind of handle that for the next year. Let's figure out if the pandemic ever comes to an end. And I started making the videos. I was like, there's no way people are watching these. It's people in their bedroom talking with really poor audio about legacy metagame. And sure, the legacy metagame is super interesting, but there's better places to find sources for that. We needed to make something that other people didn't have. And then someone showed me an episode of Game Nights. And I was like, wow. That looks really good. I don't play Commander, but I would watch this. And it just made it so clear. I realized one of the problems with watching MTGO, for example, is unless you know the cards, you just have this teeny tiny box. You're watching someone play on MTGO, you have no idea what the cards do. You have to just kind of take their word for it. So I had this puzzle of how do you solve showing paper gameplay to someone with all these game pieces that are so small and complex and still making it engaging. And then we got Modern Horizons 2 spoilers. And I was tasked with making an ad to show off our Modern Horizons 2 Flame Rift and Harmonic Prodigies spoilers.
End of turn. Lightning Bolt you.
I'll cast Counterspell.
That's not modern legal.
Actually, they just spoiled it in Modern Horizons 2, so it's modern legal now.
Yeah, whatever. My turn?
Yeah, but I think I win. I'm at 4 life. You have no cards in hand and only 2 mountains. I don't see what you would draw to get out of it.
Let's just play it out. Come on, one time. Flame Rift.
Dude, that card's not modern legal.
Actually, Cardmarket is happy to announce that Flame Rift will be reprinted in Modern Horizons 2 and will thus be modern legal. We also have 2 additional preview cards over on Cardmarket Insight, so go ahead and click that link in the description to read about them.
So I called up Jan, our social media manager. I was like, hey, would you like to sit in a room and pretend we play Magic for a while? And then suddenly, I put a flame rift on the board and you're like, nah, that's not legal. And when making the rig for that, I was like, hey, we could just do a whole video of this. It's the first time I was in a Cardmarket video outside of our April Fool's ad.
Same.
Ooh, what a piece of cardboard!
Ragavan! I love this card so much.
Oh yeah. And it did not go well. I was not good at being on camera. I was too excited. I didn't realize that if you edit out all the moments of silence, it's just all you yelling. So if I yell during the 3 seconds we used in that one turn sequence, well, it was just me yelling the whole time. Eventually we couldn't work with Kalsang. It didn't really work. We did 2 episodes. Then I called up one of my friends from customer service, Thibault. But finally, Yamin, who was a social media manager, I was like, Yamin, do you want to do a video together? And we barely knew each other. He just came in, we played a game, and we had so much fun.
So at some point, Carl joined the company when the Cardmarket series got cancelled, and he took this YouTube channel in the direction that it is today, which is just high quality, polished gameplay content mostly, and then also some other content that's also like polished. And he was looking for people to play and produce with. And I don't want to boast, but I am one of the more accomplished and knowledgeable Magic people in Cardmarket, right? Just about like the game itself. And yeah, that just really worked out because Carl and I get together really well. And then we also brought in Toffel because if we can have a mythic champion on the channel, we better do so.
And since every once in a while we'd do feature match episodes, we also had a guy in England called Dan who would do feature match episodes in his house over there and send them over. And gradually more and more we were like, no, this channel needs consistency. Some of the videos are with nicer cameras in the studio and some of them are in someone's apartments, and we didn't even have nice cameras at the time. We just found cameras at the corner of our studio and just kind of threw them together. None of them matched. The quality was not good, and our audio, there was no soundproofing. And we're using these lapel mics that you're supposed to plug into your smartphone. It was not good. And 2 years ago, we made the conscious decision, no, we're gonna start making videos, try to look nice. We bought some cameras. We invited Pleasant Kenobi to try to get the ball rolling on the channel. We had invited some guests before. We had a streamer called Solaris, and we had Toral Severin, the Mythic Invitational Champion, because he was already a friend of Yamin's. He came over, did a video.
So I already knew people at Cardmarket before I got to Cardmarket, and then eventually Carl, becoming the head of the YouTube project, messaged me. It's like, hey, do you want to have a video with us? Because they're inviting people. I mean, we're from Germany, from Berlin, so there are Cardmarket offices in Berlin. So we started a project.
And then we started inviting regular guests. We had Pleasant Kenobi, we had MTG Malone, we had Gabriel Nassif, we had Andrea Mengucci. And then every once in a while, Todd, he was around, he just came. And at some point, we were cube drafting somewhere, and he was like...
And I remember Carl saying, it's like, oh, I have those shorts, and they're kind of annoying because I have to do like 2 of them each week. And it's really exhausting to come up with topics. And I said, like, just hire me, you know? I have topics for at least 2 years every 2 weeks, because from all of the experience from tournament, knowing Magic cards, having lived through, I mean, at that point, 20 years of my life plus, I know a lot of Magic.
What if we pay you once a week? You come up, you talk. You're great at talking. Just talk about some ideas. We put them online. And in the meantime, we can find a rate. You can show up in more videos. And that's the start of Todd being all our videos.
We set that in motion and eventually realized it's not only about the shorts. We can obviously use myself for a lot of the content, the bigger videos. It was fairly quick to be a regular. I mean, it took weeks until we realized that the 3 of us are a very good team. And yeah.
And then just like that, in the last year, I think it's around the time we had Spice 8 Rack over, just views started going up and up and up, but I was really tired because I was doing all the videos on my own. So I took a 2 months vacation, and then we just stopped posting for a while. I went to Canada, I went to Cuba, and then when I came back, finally, we hired a new employee, a new animator. She was supposed to help me out with the videos. Carolina, she's great. But we then opened a Yu-Gi-Oh channel. So she went on the Yu-Gi-Oh channel. Recently, we realized I can't do all the videos on my own. So we just hired 2 new editors, animators. We have Fede?
Yes.
Would you like to record an interview portion for the behind the scenes video?
I've not been here so long. I would not really know what to say.
I don't know, like my name's Fede. I like playing Magic the Gathering. I just started making videos for Cardmarket.
Sure.
I'm Fele. I like playing Magic. I just started here at Cardmarket making videos.
We have Brian, who's about to start in September, and now we have Philip, who just started. You might recognize his work on the Chaos Commander video and the Dan Dan video. That's him.
I started playing Magic a couple of years ago and directly started with Commander and never really looked back. And if I'm not DMing a Dungeons & Dragons campaign for my friends, then I'm probably organizing some kind of Commander event. I met Carl at the Commander evening of a mutual friend and we started talking, and turns out he was just looking for someone who could edit videos, animate videos, and has a lot to do with Commander. And I'm a Commander player with a video and filmmaking background. So we started talking and well, we started working together, and that's basically it. If you've seen one of our Commander videos, I'm doing a lot of those. I'm also doing a lot of shorts, and I recently started doing a couple of the gameplay videos. So I'm basically doing everything that Carl does not have time to do himself. So yeah.
What's very strange about this job is, although I'm a Cardmarket employee, I do Cardmarket stuff. I'm at the Cardmarket meetings for marketing. I don't really have a boss. I mean, I have a boss. I have Robert, the CEO, and Tracy, head of marketing, who are technically my bosses, but they don't overlook anything I do. I could also just hide in a corner and not do anything, and I don't think they'd notice. And it's not that they don't pay attention, it's they just trust in my creative process. So I get to do whatever I want. I go to a store and I decide I need a top hat and a like 200 euro weird outfit. I go and I buy it. They don't question it. I'm using Cardmarket's money. They just trust that I'm gonna do something with it that'll be worth it for the company. So I just have this room with these lights and this setup and this other room with these computers, and I just kind of come up with ideas, film them every Tuesday with my friends, and then we upload them online and see if it works out. And we learn from it. We've done a lot of really bad videos, but at least they were a learning opportunity that helped us grow into what we are now. And even right now, I think maybe in a few years, I'll look back at the videos we made now and I won't be able to look at them because I'll consider them so low quality compared to what we'll be doing at the time, hopefully. That's the goal.
This, over the years, leads to me being right here, where I manage Cardmarket social media. If you find an answer on social media, on Twitter, Instagram, something, it's usually me. If it's a direct answer, I will usually sign with my name, so you actually know what I'm up to all day.
I work in Cardmarket, which I co-own, which is a shop that is on Cardmarket. And yep, so far this is my split reality of playing Magic, being on the channel here, and also having Cardmarket.
We could not thank Cardmarket, because without them, there would be none of these videos because they lend us all of our cards.
Well, on Cardmarket, there's Cardmarket. Like many other stores, we buy and sell Magic cards. We have the idea of having almost all the cards, which is our slogan, because we do have almost all the cards. So your idea is, if you want to have a Commander deck and you want to have it tomorrow, you can go to our place, put in your wants list. Then we have almost all the cards. I mean, people order from cards. It's very hard to have all the cards all the time, but most of the time we have almost all the cards or all the cards from your Commander deck, and then you receive it in the next 2 days if you're in Europe. I mean, obviously in some countries it's more, but if it's in between Germany, 1 or 2 days, almost guaranteed. Other parts of Europe within a week, very quick. And it's cool because a lot of my friends work there as well. Right now, I'm still playing Magic. I'm qualified for Worlds, which is in September in Vegas. So my plan is to win Worlds, which it was before, but you know, can't harm. Would be good for the channel and just generally have your own card.
So at Cardmarket currently, I'm the creative director. My job is to direct, my job is to have ideas. That's just it. We have a Yu-Gi-Oh channel, we need to come up with a way to make it work, ideas, video concepts, the funniest way to make a video carry out, that's me. We have for the Magic channel, and I make thumbnails, I do sound on ads, stuff like that. I also answer comments on YouTube. Yamin will answer you if you write on Twitter. If you wrote us a message on Instagram or commented somewhere and someone answered back, that's most likely Yamin. If it's on Facebook as well, but YouTube, that's me. When I'm on the train, on my way home, I just scroll down the recent comments and I just try to answer as many as possible. Carl in the other shirt again. So that was the YouTube channel. But Cardmarket is not just a content platform. We're a community marketplace. We organize events. We try to support competitive teams and content creators. I'll be honest with you, all of this, every YouTube video is just advertising. Although we have loads of fun doing it, it's just a way to get the word out for a community marketplace. Because that's what we are, we're a community marketplace. We don't sell any cards. We just allow you to sell your cards to other people and they buy cards from you. I forced our CEO, Robert, to sit down and talk to the camera for this video, and I'll let him tell you a bit more about it.
My name is Robert, I'm the CEO of Cardmarket, and it's my job to explore new opportunities for Cardmarket, to help the business grow, and to work together with the other managers to make sure that all the employees are working to their fullest potential. And we've got big plans for Cardmarket. It's the largest platform in Europe for buying and selling trading cards, and we want to make it possible for everybody in Europe to have a safe place to trade online.
You always find the price that is fair. I remember being in stores and always find it annoying that trading with random fictional prices where nobody can really satisfy the information that they need, what is a card worth, was kind of annoying. So I'm very happy that there's a card marketplace where people buy and sell for an agreed upon price, and it's always fair, right? If you put it in the card, then you will always sell it at that moment in time when the card is worth. It doesn't mean that it might be not worth more in the next 1 week, but at this point in time, it was exactly worth what you put it in, and if it gets sold, well, you made some money, or you bought some card for a fair price.
Cardmarket is a marketplace online that allows you to sell and buy your Magic cards. We don't own any cards. That's what people keep on, they're like, oh, when I visit Berlin, can I come to your store? We don't have a store. We don't even own any cards because we don't sell any cards.
Cardmarket is the mediator between the buyer and seller. We offer a platform in which you, as a buyer or a seller, can be safe and sure that the cards that you buy or sell will be taken care of, even if you don't agree on the condition, the language, or other things. We are always here for you.
The story behind Cardmarket is an awesome one to tell because it really is what people would expect a startup or something to be like, right?
It was started by these two friends, Luis and Matthias, in their apartment because they wanted to find a way to sell their Magic cards. Don't we all?
Back in that day, it was just the two of them sitting in a student room, one of them coding while the other one was sorting cards and finding out what products to list and what was the hot new thing.
Magic cards are priced weirdly. Like in France, some of them are more expensive than in Germany and vice versa. So what he imagined was some way to ease that out, right? And the way to do that is to, create a connection between those two. As someone studying computer sciences, the way to do that was a website.
After a while, Cardmarket started to become a more successful business, and we started to include more and more games. And especially in the past 3 years, we've hired a lot of people to grow the company.
And the whole thing was marketed by word of mouth. It's those two people sitting in their bedroom, listing cards, kind of creating this website, one coding, the other listing cards. And that's it. That's how Cardmarket started and grew. At some point, like a year later, they hired a third person to do more support work because at some point, sellers also started signing up. And then within a few years, Cardmarket grew tremendously. It actually grew that much that it had to expand further. They included Yu-Gi-Oh! And then some years later, they also included Pokemon cards. At that point, Magic Cardmarket really doesn't make a lot of sense as a name. So they had individual Yu-Gi-Oh! Cardmarket and Pokemon Cardmarket domains, but at some point Cardmarket decided, all right, enough's enough. We're rebranding to a single name, which is just Cardmarket. This is also the reason why you sometimes hear people calling it MKM. That's Magic Kartenmarkt in German, right, as an abbreviation. This was not a project funded by venture capital. This was two people in a bedroom, and by now, it has grown into this.
And this is now a fully functioning company. You see us on YouTube channel doing the marketing stuff all the time, doing silly shenanigans, but we also have a whole team that's just dedicated to uploading the cards onto the website.
My name is Guillem, and I am part of the product catalog manager team. What we do is we manage the games. So for example, I do Magic and I do Flesh and Blood. So for example, when marketing wants to post something about the other games that are not Magic, they don't know so much about Flesh and Blood, for example, so I help them on that, like on posting tweets or writing in the web page, etc. One of the other things that Product Catalog Manager does is helping support. So this can be either checking fakes, because maybe the support agents don't know so well Flesh and Blood, or maybe we'll be checking, oh, is this booster resealed? Is this like glued again? So this is one of the other things we do. We upload all the products, but we also help marketing and support.
Speaking of support, Cardmarket's biggest department by far is our customer support department, which does speak a lot to where our priorities lie. Because we understand that cards vary in languages, and there's so many editions of every individual card, and the value of what near mint isn't the same to every user. So we need to make sure there's people here to mediate it, to make it safe for you guys.
I work in the customer service department, and it's the biggest in our company, in Cardmarket. And it's because we really care about our users, and we are really people-oriented. We have a lot of different skills because there is so many different games, and we love to play Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, and we know about these cards. We are players ourselves, and we always have someone with the right languages, with the right skills to give you the perfect answers to your questions.
As we all know, buying and selling trading cards is not always as easy as it seems. There's many different languages, conditions, and everyone has a different standard. And we at Cardmarket try to set that standard and make sure that even if there's a dispute, we are there for you to help you figure it out so you can buy and sell cards safe.
Every day we answer like thousands of tickets because there is always some question about how Cardmarket works, or where is the shipment, or if you have any question regarding cards, we're always there for you.
We also have a team of 18 developers, back end and front end. I couldn't get them to come in and talk on the camera because they were too busy making the website run smoothly and working on upcoming features, but I do promise you they are very nice. So you've just watched us indulge our way through about 35 minutes of what Cardmarket is. So I'll finally get to the point that everyone asks for the most, which is how we make our videos. Unfortunately, there's no sexy answer to this. We just turn on some cameras and have fun. There's no team of technicians behind the scenes or a judge on hand to make sure we don't make any mistakes. It's just once a week, Taralf, Yamin and I sit around my computer and brainstorm.
So what are we doing now? Brainstorming.
Yes, because we have a slot to fill. Today we have the game show. On Thursday we have Against the Odds Goldfish. Then Tuesday we have 100K behind the scenes. Then your gameplay that you recorded today. Then Staple or Stinker Yamin with Team Sam. Then the first Frank Carson video. But then whoosh, we have the giveaway for Barcelona, but we don't have anything between the Carson video and the giveaway after Barcelona. So we need a slot, we have an opportunity. So each of us has a list of video ideas, and whenever the muse strikes, we just add to it. So when we meet every week, we just go through each other's list and suggest ideas that we wanted to make.
What do you do with it? It doesn't change anything.
I mean, in theory, top 10 reprints in Commander Masters. We won't do this, it's very boring. But
we take a random person that is barely a player that kind of knows games, and one of us tries to teach them Magic enough to be able to beat you at Magic. Some of our ideas are very strong, and some of them are not so strong. Like Taralf, every 2 weeks, we'll come with the same pitch. We go to a restaurant, we go to pay, and they ask cash or card, and we say, I would like to pay with card, and hand them a Magic card. That's it. This video has never made it to production. Okay, what about, I play 8 games of Magic at once, and it's just Taralf in the middle, and he does that chess thing where everyone's playing against him, so there's like 8 people or 4 people, and the thumbnail is tables around, it's photoshopped, it's tables around Taralf. Taralf is just like the speed running around them and playing all of them. Like I thought of a thumbnail I think people would click on, we just have to find a way to deliver on it.
I think 4 games in parallel. I wouldn't hate just 4 tables in the studio around him with 4 people around him and Toph in the middle on a swiveling chair.
Yeah, you get to have a spinny chair. And then we craft the concept together every time, and we only ever set up a video usually if all 3 of us like the concept. Taralf? You want to play 4? Yeah, you really want to play 4 games at once? Okay, we put it in.
Do they have like a connection? Do I play the same deck or different decks?
Different decks, I'd say. Oh, that's 8 decks to borrow.
Yeah, that's gonna be an expensive video.
I think it should all be different to maximize the task that Toffel is going through, where it's not, well, he goes through the same storm line every game, but in one game he has to play a storm line.
I think he should play different decks for sure.
Yeah.
But what if the opponents are all the same deck? That way
even then you still have to, I think
it's kind of more cohesive for the person watching.
Yeah.
And then once we have a concept, we have a week to either brew some decks, assemble the cards, get some props together, borrow the cards from Cardmarket, which is Taralf's Cardmarket store. Tell you guys next week if we need anything specific, but can you pick 4 decks and you play 4 times against Rakdos with those 4 Pioneer decks?
Well,
I'll take care of the setup.
One of them is Convoke.
The Cardmarket office is actually really far from the Cardmarket office. I used to go myself to pick up the cards every time we showed a video, but now our budget got a little bit bigger and we pay for a courier to ferry back and forth the cards. And then a week later, we meet up together and we just film the video. This one, you'll see the behind the scenes of right now in specific, is a no banless Pauper video, which I would have loved to be in myself because Pauper is my favorite format. But I looked at our main page and realized that recently it's been Carl's City. That is way too much of my face. You guys all need a break for a while. So every time we shoot, I come into the room early, I set up all the cameras, all the lights, I wipe all the SD cards, assemble all the props. If they don't know what they're playing, I sleeve the cards. In this case, they both knew what each other was playing, so they're sleeving up. All right, I'll get the cameras. Todd, can you turn on the lights?
Sure, no problem.
This is like the most important part of the video, because if we don't put these on, well,
Wow, that was very
if we don't, you won't hear us otherwise. There have been plenty videos lost to technical difficulties where we lost the audio, we lost the video.
Yeah, sometimes we have to play Magic twice. What a bummer.
What a bummer.
And I know it's disappointing, but that's just it. I turn on all the cameras and we play Magic.
Delightful, can you speak normal?
Wow, that's a very big ask. Normal, normal, normal.
Now you're really excited.
Yay!
But we don't play exactly normal games. There's a few rules to follow in the Cardmarket studio. For example, whenever someone draws a card, they have to show it to the overhead camera so that I make sure to be able to animate it afterwards in the overlay when they draw the card.
How many goblins do you want?
Well, 18. Oh wow,
That should be 18.
that's more than 18. Birthdays are really unfun. That's not true. Birthdays are really fun. Yes, Carl.
That's exactly how I would have said it.
We could just replace both of you with one of you. All right, you ready?
We don't even know what the intro is. We just start.
Why not? I mean, the intro is probably like us sitting there being.
No, I mean we just start. Okay, let's go. Yeah, and then we have an intro somewhere. Okay.
Yeah. We obviously don't cut decks because cutting decks would need to be cut out afterward. Yeah, okay, Toffel, you can cut my deck. Usually we don't cut decks because who cares, and we're not cheating. And because I want Carl, in hindsight, to be able to edit this, I'll take a picture of my opening hand because that way he knows which cards are in there. And then I'll take a mulligan. Because this hand, that's not good. It doesn't even have any spells. That's not true. It doesn't even have any lands, is what I wanted to say.
That hand is very complicated.
To me, it looks very simple. It's all the same sleeves. So all of our thinking and like comments like this are usually cut out because thinking isn't fun to watch. Also, shuffling, the same. We just cut it out. But now, maybe you see it if Carl leaves this in. This is a really weird spot.
A lot of the fun jokes are lost because of shuffling.
And the one thing that people ask for the most is how we do our interviews. Game Nights has someone watching all the games and taking every game action down and then rereading it to the players later afterwards for the interviews. We don't have that kind of budget. So when we first started, we tried to do the same thing without paying someone to do the whole thing. So what we did is we had a computer in the corner of the room, and after every turn, we would run to the computer and write down what we did during that turn. Obviously, we couldn't keep on doing that. That was super tedious. So what we then would do is every time we wanted to take an interview, we would run outside of the studio. We would record a voice note on our phone with the emotion that we were supposed to have in the interview afterwards, and then we would listen to those again and say them to the camera. That clearly didn't work.
All right, because this was quite a memorable turn sequence, I'll just take my time and take a note because we don't do interviews live. Like, we don't run into another room, record an interview. I take a note.
We don't?
We don't.
We don't just move the table, use the whole setup for a different setup, and then talk to the camera for 20 seconds, then go back, put the...
We don't. I'll write down my exact emotions that I have towards this days targeting my Blight member.
Can you also tell me right now?
Yeah, I hate you for it. This feels stupid, and I feel very cheated out because that's a one-up. And so Toffel is an extremely good Magic player, so it's already difficult to. So it's already difficult to win against Toffel, but then he's also extremely lucky, which is.
So now we simply just take notes. We try to replicate the excitement that we're gonna have later. Sometimes I go like, say this, but be really afraid, or like sad intonation at the end. And then we read them to the camera after the game.
I took my note, so now Toffel knows we can continue playing, so I'll untap.
I will pass it her. No, go away. I will pass the turn for the video.
Okay.
Actually, don't know if I did. Your turn.
I'll untap.
And for sideboarding, and talking about our mulligans, for example, we just look at the photos we took of our hand cards or sideboarding during the game.
So, now that we're done with game one, we think about sideboarding.
Yeah, we can think about sideboarding. I came prepared. I have to tell you something. Most of my sideboard is fake because I only brought the cards that...
It has a lot of hydroblasts and stuff.
There are a lot of useless cards in there.
Since sometimes we know the deck list, we also know what we're playing. We don't include the card that we wouldn't sideboard, but
Yeah, if we don't know what the other is playing,
yes,
we'll bring the entire sideboard. But since this is kind of like behind the scenes stuff going on, we knew what's up. So once again, making use of that new smartphone technology, I'm gonna let Carl know what I sideboarded, because then he can show it nicely on the screen. And then I can also talk about it later in the interviews when we record those.
We also do a lot of small mistakes on the moment. We can't catch everything, but when we do, it's easy. We have the magic of editing. So we just roll back whatever we said and then just say it again properly.
Well, let's go to combat.
no effects.
No effects. 1 poison for you.
22 and the poison.
23.
Achso. Okay. I get a poison.
1 poison.
Yeah.
And...
You only have lands?
I'll have to just pass the turn.
Smart.
Oh,
Do you want to explain why?
I'll take a note.
Yeah.
So we have to redo whole turn sequences sometimes, or game actions if someone maybe walked into the room while we were doing it, or if there's an ambulance nearby.
Yeah, I'll just play a second mirror. And now we play the game, waiting for the ambulance to pass.
why?
Because we're like right next to kind of a main street, so there's ambulances all the time, ruining all of our recordings.
Which is somehow the one noise that gets through all the microphones.
Yeah.
Like, people can talk in the office and people can make some noises, but the audience sound is, I guess,
The
not
ambulance.
surprising. The ambulance sound is the ambulance sound is surprisingly hearable,
Yeah.
which is good. I mean,
Anyways, so now they're off to save people somewhere that direction, and we'll continue recording.
yeah. So that also means I have to do whatever I did before once it's
Yeah,
started. but
you have to redo anything you said.
At this point, I was just thinking, so it was him.
Yeah,
Okay, you passed the turn.
I did. Oh, I have to do it again. I remember. I'll pass the turn.
Okay, untap, draw.
For non-regular gameplay videos, I usually think up of the thumbnail before we ever even shoot. We have a whole concept, I edit everything together, I try to make it high production. But for the gameplay videos, I still want to show to viewers that it's gameplay in case they don't know what the video is about. So we've been currently opting for having pictures of two people playing cards against each other, excited, and adding some text somewhere. So usually after these games, before we pack everything up, I ask them to just pose and take some thumbnail photos.
Should we
make
leave
the board clean-ish, but with tokens or whatever, and I'll quickly take thumbnail photos.
Okay. Or
Do you feel puzzled by no bandwidth popper?
well, it's a very intriguing thing. Like, and Storm is puzzling. You know, there's a
You
lot
can
of.
look puzzled. Look puzzled. We'll do a few. So you look puzzled in some of them.
How do you look puzzled?
You never feel puzzled, Todd?
So this is the part where we take the thumbnail pictures. There's Carl taking pictures. Oh, Toffel.
You're in top of this thumbnail.
Sorry.
That doesn't look like you're having fun. Oh yeah, there you go. That looks like a puzzled person. That looks like Todd pondering.
I did ponder.
You did ponder. Perfect. Then it's accurate. We're not lying in the thumbnail. Okay. Now look a little bit scared. I mean, you're getting poisoned. Looked like you got poisoned. That's not what a poison. Have you ever been poisoned, Todd?
No.
What about when you drink too much limoncello? No, that's like too much limoncello. And then we just set up the studio to shoot the interview portions and just look at the photos of our hands and read back our notes. Okay, this is rolling. Can you tap your mic? Wunderbar. That was very well tapped.
Okay, sideboarding Okay, winning game 1 makes me very happy because I think sideboarding kind of is in my advantage because now I actually get to interact with the board state, and I've looked at the deck list a little bit before. And I've looked at the format a little bit before. Obviously, Jamin is not going to bring a Storm deck because that would be kind of weird to bring a mirror Storm deck, so we kind of are good about that.
And after we've recorded all the interview portions, we sit down next to each other and record the intro and outro at the same time.
This is tough. Ow.
Okay, deine Intro jetzt.
This is Toffel. This is Toffel. I'm Yamin, and these are pauper decks without banned cards. No, that would just be pauper decks.
And then once we have all the footage, I bring all the SD cards onto my computer and I edit the video. Sometimes if I'm in a rush or I don't have a lot of time, I send a video to edit to Tommaso, a freelancer in Italy who does a wonderful job. Then I add music, and many of you ask, specifically in the comments, for some of the tracks that we use. I'm so sorry. But a long time ago, we had an Artlist subscription, and when I downloaded all the songs that we use in the videos, I made a playlist, and to help me edit, I renamed a lot of the tracks to things like funky, upbeat, hopeful, trumpet, salsa, long breakdown, ends dramatically. So I don't know the names of the songs either, I'm so sorry. Then I animate the whole video in After Effects, adding the cards in hand and the effects when the cards are played and such. And then I make the thumbnail in Photoshop, upload the video, and then I probably go draft with my colleagues because there's always someone here playing card games.
Yeah, you know, Cardmarket is kind of a family, like a place where a lot of people that like Magic, work with Magic, produce content for you, edit the videos, do social media, do a lot of stuff. And let me tell you, behind the scenes, there's a lot of Magic. You play a lot of drafts on the side. People have like their regular drafting days. It's a company that works with Magic, that lives Magic, that just has a lot of people.
We love the world. We love the people. With Cardmarket, you can buy anything you want for your deck. There are people playing that really care about.